All right. Assalamu alaikum. I think we should be back now. I think this should be working. Sorry about the bad stream before. I mean, God, I don't know what was going on. We should be back. I think we're testing it now. So I think we should be okay now. Let's see if we get people to join back in just to see what's going on. Okay. I think the think they don't like the stream too much. Let me see. Is it better? I don't know. I think it was kind of freezing for a little bit. All right, thank you. I guess it's working better. Let me know if it starts stalling or not. I don't know if that's going to be working or not, but let's see if that works. I need to get the chat here. Hold on here. See the other one here. That one's going better. Bad. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's stalling. If any of you guys have any ideas, this is kind of strange. That I never had an issue with streaming on YouTube before. But for some reason, I think maybe it could be the internet quality or something that's going on here. But I've got everything shut down. Let me see if that makes a difference. If I shut down the Discord, maybe it's eating some bandwidth. I know I was on multiple channels at the same time, so maybe that's what's causing the issue. Could be that. I don't know. Let's see. I think we should be better now. I think we should be better with a live connection now. Hopefully. Let's see if that worked, if the stream quality works better. I think we should be. Yeah, maybe it might be the virus. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it is the virus that's just kicking me off, or it looks like YouTube has a virus or something. Yes, so it looks like we've got an issue with this stream coming in now. So I don't know. I think we might be able to solve this, but maybe my bitrate is too high or video output. Okay, so it's saying video. Wait, let me see. It's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Let's see what the hell that message is. Ah, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I don't know if anyone knows what that error is. That's very strange. I don't know what it is, but it's giving me this. Is it like I think that's probably some kind of connection error. I could be like maybe an internet thing. Maybe I have to lower my bandwidth or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that later. I guess I don't know what it is, but we'll have to see what's going on. Is it better now, guys? I don't know if it's better or worse, but I think the stream has gotten better. I think. Oh, okay. The stream health is fixed. Okay, thank you, YouTube. You fixed my stream. Wow, that was magical. Someone made dua for me, and Allah yabarak fiq for making that dua. So good. Anyways, let's go back to what we were talking about, right? We were talking about the here. Let me see. Let me just fix the chat thing. I think for some reason the chat thing didn't like the window. So let me see if that works now. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Floating Man, Mizan Ahmed, Hausa Films. Oh, it's a second live stream with how I think it was YouTube, to be honest. I was like, man, I never really like have a problem with streams. I have a pretty decent internet connection. I thought maybe because everybody was on the Corona home quarantine that everybody's on the internet doing whatever they shouldn't be doing. On Amazon shopping for toilet paper. Anyways, you know what? Maybe it was that one evil hater that came in here for the two Dumb and Dumbers, Abdullah Samir and Abdullah Gondo, that was like giving me hasad and ayn. He's probably like staring me down, like, you evil man, you, how dare you refute Abdullah Samir. But anyways, let me know. By the way, let me know. Can you guys, if I switch my screen, can you guys see this? By the way, I don't know if you guys can. Can you guys see my desk top? I just want to make sure that everything is working the way that it should be working. Yeah, I believe it should be working that way. Okay, perfect. I think it is working. Awesome. So I came across this interesting the sheet, I guess you would say, because people are, panicked about Corona and all these other things and blah, 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 blah. So he had essentially this nasheed that I saw. It was pretty cool. I mean, let me try to see if I can play it, you guys. I think you guys should be able to hear it, in all honesty. Let me see here. Or maybe not. Let me exit out of that. Hit play, or let me just reload this one.
كورونا فيروس وما أدراك ما الكورونا فيروس إذا كنت مؤمنا فلا تخاف من كورونا فيروس.
Kind of catchy, huh?
توضأ 5 مرات في اليوم ثم صل صلواتك الخمس ثم قرأ شيئا من الأذكار.
People are finding creative ways to help people, huh?
إذا كنت مؤمنا فلا تخاف من كورونا فيروس وتوكل على الله ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه.
Very nice.
إذا كنت مؤمنا فلا تخاف من كورونا فيروس.
تعرف
على الله في الرخاء يعرفك.
He's got a beautiful voice.
إذا كنت مؤمنا فلا تخاف من كورونا فيروس. إذا كنت مؤمنا فلا تخاف من كورونا فيروس. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى قل لن يصيبنا إلا ما.
He's got a very nice voice, mashallah.
مولانا وعلى الله.
Very nice,
وعلى
mashallah.
الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. إذا كنت مؤمنا فلا تخاف من كورونا فيروس. إذا كنت مؤمنا.
It's very nice advice, I think.
توكل على الله. توكل على الله. توضأ 5 مرات في اليوم وصل صلواتك الخمس وقرأ شيئا من الأذكار وقرأ شيئا من القرآن ثم توكل على الله. إذا كنت مؤمنا فلا تخاف من كورونا فيروس.
Wow, mashallah, very nice. I mean, I think it was nice, Let me put that on pause real quick. Yes, tie your camel and tie and tawakkul ala Allah. Yeah, of course, yeah. But I think in general, I mean, there's a lot of people panicking about stuff. I mean, everywhere I turn to, everyone's like just mass hysteria. And I don't understand. I mean, I get it. People have elderly people. They're paranoid. They don't want, everyone to get sick and things like that. I get that, right? I mean, it's a natural worry that anybody would have, right? I believe it's a natural worry that anybody would have, and that they want to make sure that their families are safe, right? And I think that was the issue. But bigger news now: how the banks have been given $1.5 trillion to coronavirus. Ben Bernanke called out digital expanding the account inside the Russia bailing out. Yeah. I mean, it's very, very strange right now. Good comment, Mizan. I think one of the things that I worry about is economically, this is going to be tougher than actually dealing with the virus. You have many people right now around the world that are living pretty much paycheck to paycheck, if that. Can you imagine them not being able to work and companies that won't be able to provide supplementary income while they are unable to work, even though they want to work? How many people will now fall back into poverty? I mean, that's pretty crazy if you think about it, right? I mean, and you know what happens when people fall into poverty, right? People lose their mind, right? I mean, they go like crazy because they want food, they want security, they become envious, they're just mad at the world. And I think that could cause a huge problem. But on the flip side, people who are liquid, i.e. they have a lot of money, a cash lying around, they are going to make an absolute killing. So if you are one of those fortunate people to have cash lying around and you have extra money you can spend, it might be a good time to buy into some of these investments that are dropping heavily in price right now because of the coronavirus. I don't know. It seems a bit capitalistic to do that, obviously, but there definitely is going to be, money. Well, let me just put this out here on a tweet. Sorry for the last stream. We had some technical difficulties. Let me just put this out here. If you guys could tweet this out, that would be great. So people who lost the last stream can come back in. From my Corona headquarters. Okay, good. All right. So what are you guys doing for Corona? What are you guys doing? Let's not make it about me. Are you guys taking it serious? Am I just too relaxed? Am I not worried enough about Corona? Or what do you guys think? All right. What do you guys think? I want to get your feedback on this. We're heading into the major financial crash, probably 2020, Great Depression type. Maybe, Allah Alam. Bernie makes his case is an effective way in tonight's debate. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, House of Films, is that I don't know if America is ready for someone like Bernie Sanders. I really don't. I mean, look, my thing is I think all politicians are liars, right? I really do. Deep down, I think to some degree they have to lie. And if not lie, they have to be somewhat dirty. You have to play the game. You cannot survive in American politics if you're going to be completely squeaky clean without deceptive tactics. But one thing I can appreciate about Bernie Sanders is that, from what I can tell, for the last 30 years, he's been pretty consistent in his message about what he wants for America. He's been very open about it. He's not shy about telling people that he wants a more socially democratic country that has a larger welfare network, that maintains capitalism, but regulated capitalism, and that he definitely wants America to focus on Americans in terms of healthcare and education. While we may not agree on all of the methods that he's imploring or trying to use in order to achieve that, but those basic principles, we can say, yes, you know what, we need that. As Americans or as people fundamentally in the world, you need to have good healthcare and good good education, right? Mizan says keep basic hygiene. Absolutely, keep basic hygiene. I mean, where I'm at in Buffalo right now, we don't really have an outbreak, and thank God, alhamdulillah. Maybe it's an advantage of living in a smaller city. If I was still living in Chicago, I think there's like 30 or 40 cases. So alhamdulillah, someone is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting Buffalo from the coronavirus, so we're okay. But wait, Mizan, I think you're in Buffalo too, aren't you? I don't know if you're in Buffalo. I think you're the same brother we were talking to. I get names mixed up sometimes. But I don't know if you saw like local grocery markets that are completely empty, or like the lines around the way. But it says, let me see here. Here in the UK, they have kept the schools open. The government wants the kids to actually actively spread this to their parents. Wow. Wait, what? Is that like a conspiracy theory, or it's actually they're telling you this? I mean, I don't understand why they would let kids go to school. I mean, wouldn't that be more costly for the government? Because oh, you're from the UK. Okay, my fault. Okay, my bad. But I thought, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert in the UK, but isn't there a large population of the people that are on the dole? Like, so wouldn't that be more burdensome for the government if more people are on the dole? So they want to infect 60% of the population so that the country develops a, quote, herd immunity, end quote, 45 million people infected. My goodness. So apparently they're letting people in the country too without like scanning them or whatever. So if somebody comes in from like Italy or like China, they're not going to stop them. Is that what I'm to understand based on that? That's pretty crazy to me. I don't know how that would happen. You know, I mean, for me, that would be pretty outrageous. I mean, there are a lot of old people that are at risk of dying. So apparently up here in New York City, what we're watching is, I'm looking at the news here. It says that New York City to close bars and restaurants around U.S. close over coronavirus. Travelers greet with hours-long airport lines as coronavirus screening begins. Why Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's not going to be tested for coronavirus. I'm just crazy, man. Everything about coronavirus. So today, live debates, Democratic debate featuring Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. I think they're going to do it remotely, or like more of a live stream than in person, I think. Let's oh wow, this is pretty big news. For those of you that have been following the whole Israel-Palestine thing, apparently they're saying they're choosing Benny Gantz to form a government. And Netanyahu is arguing to stay PM over the coronavirus concerns. Now, I think Netanyahu is a piece of crap. I don't think Benny Gantz is any different. But it's funny how they're fighting each other. They're both conservatives. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Canadian Muslima. The basic population call no the interpreters. Yeah, they possibly think that, that the population is too overcrowded, and they, some people believe that, But I don't know. I mean, but I was reading something, scientifically speaking, and it says that the human body, biologically, when they feel they're under threat, they tend to reproduce more. It's like an instinct that we have to survive. And that's why we see a phenomenon among poorer countries or impoverished nations where they have a higher birth rate than nations that are relatively stable and economically sound. Now, I don't know how much truth that is, in that, but it's interesting. If that is true, you're not gonna get rid of the human population. You may even double it, depending on that. Well, that's another interesting point, but we'll come back to that floating. Mizan, you're absolutely right. Benji is trying to face, he's going to face corruption charges. And he's trying not to deal with it. He's trying to get immunity. But make no mistake, Gantz is not a what do you call a liberal, or he's a conservative. He was a military man. He fought. He was a general for Netanyahu. And keep in mind one thing. If either of these parties wanted to really win the election, they could have made a coalition government with the Arab blocs. For the first time in history, the third party that has the majority right now is the Arab bloc, and either one of them could side with them to form a body or a government and get the majority. But none of them will do that. Interesting, right? Part of the reasons I've heard is because of the fact that they would have to then share Mossad intelligence with this coalition government, which would then include the Arabs, which is something they don't want to do right now. And that kind of shows you the mentality of the people that you're dealing with in that area. But nonetheless, let them fight it out. Let them go through it. I think this is God's plan for them, and so we welcome it. Ahlan wa sahlan. But let's go and talk about population control. I believe it was Floating Man who talks about, he said a lot of these Western countries view the elderly as a burden on the economy. Now, that is, for the large part, I think, largely true. And unfortunately, I believe that a lot of people think that they already lived their life. They've already contributed. It's a very selfish way, right? Like, it's all about me, me, me. My parents are supposed to leave me this. My parents are supposed to do that for me. My parents are supposed to do X, Y, and Z. And once I'm independent, we don't owe each other anything, right? And that's why, very early on in life, I was doing nursing for a while. And one of the reasons why I stepped away was because I was working in a hospital, and there was a nursing home actually apart, and there were a few people on hospice care that were pretty much elderly people that were getting ready to die. And they haven't seen their family and their kids in like months, some in even years. And I thought, how depressing is that? Like, you've got people that are dying on their deathbed, and their families just don't care. And that was really depressing for me. I couldn't internalize that. Like, I just couldn't even understand that concept. Like, from us and our backgrounds, you never leave your parents to be alone. Like, from the kind of background that we are from, it's unfathomable that I would even consider putting my parents in a nursing home, right? Yet alone not visiting them if I, had to put them in one. But I get it that some parents, they have many more requirements. Like, they're really ill and they need constant 24/7 care. That's a different story. I'm talking about parents who are just normally getting older and want to have assistance. I remember growing up and seeing my own father and my grandfather. He lived in the house like he was a king. And it wasn't just like, oh, okay, you're living with us, that's fine, you can live with us, but you have to follow my rules. No, it was more like, you own the house. This is your house, And my mom was cool with that her father-in-law, had control of the house. She didn't complain about it. How many people would do that today? It's very rare. They would say, oh my God, your father is imposing on us. He has his own rules and blah, 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 blah. Or even vice versa. The mother-in-law is doing all this, right? But for us, it was a very different time. And I couldn't even imagine having to do that, the amount of debt we have towards our parents, and to be such an ingrate and to think that, oh my God, there's such a burden on me and I can't do this. It's horrible. It's offensive. And I think Allah will hold those individuals responsible. There's a verse in the Quran which mentions, that talks about how they support you, he puts you in your old age, and that he starts you off young as a baby and returns you back to your old age. And the parallel is funny because when you're a baby, you're helpless. And as you get older, you become helpless. You become dependent, right? So don't forget that. It's a way of humbling the human being. Can you imagine being, we're all men and women right now, young, able to walk, conscious in mind, able to get pretty much what we want to get for the most part. And then, slowly by slowly, our faculties and our abilities begin to decline and we become dependent, right? So if any of us have parents alive, make sure that we take care of them and that we put precedence on them, because obviously many of us know that famous hadith about Jannah being below the feet of our mothers. But not only that, it is a duty upon us to do that, and to not say even uff to them. So make sure you take advantage of that barakah, that ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you if you have parents that are alive or that are in need of you. Yes, it's happening with Muslim families and with British families. I think it's a phenomenon right now because we've moved into the society of being very individualistic, that we're no longer a society of normative culture, like meaning that, or collective culture, that we don't say, we all should be thinking about something a certain way. We're all kind of being individual, And by the way, I've heard some sick people say, if my parents die, it won't be so bad. I'll get some inheritance. I can finally do that business that I wanted to do. And stuff like this kind of talk that you hear, it's very disturbing because it feels like it's, like it's based on consumerism, like and hyper capitalism, that you're always thinking like, oh my God, I need more money. I need more things in life. I need to buy a new Rolex. I need to buy a new BMW or Mercedes. I need to get in a bigger house. I want to take more vacations. It's not even really like they need money because they want to eat better or have better health or to do some donations with it. It's like things that are material that will get old and you'll be bored of in a matter of a few months or maybe longer. Maybe it might take a year, and some even less, maybe like weeks or days. But yet they're willing to totally ignore and justify, the death of a family member or the inadequate care by somehow being able to rationalize getting inheritance money. It's very, very shameful. Yeah. So let's talk about what Mizan has said real quickly. What did you make of the truce ceasefire deal with Turkey and Syria? Well, that is a tricky thing. Russia is a very tricky, player in this game. Russia wants an ally with Iran. I wouldn't say ally. I would say Russia wants a partner with Iran and a partner with Turkey as well. They play both sides. And when I say partner, I mean an economic partner. Because Russia faces economic threats all the time. So anything they can do to keep the lines of trade open for them is important for them to maintain. And I think this is just a extension of that, right? They don't want to have, because Turkey is, all right, welcome back. Like, yeah, I think it was a YouTube thing. I think we're good now. So welcome back, bro. Assalamu alaikum. Urhab. Welcome. So I think Turkey is just essentially obviously manning its own borders. And look, I'm gonna be honest here, okay? I know we like leaders that say good things. Possibly we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides them and makes them, tools for His religion. Excuse me, but the thing is, we have to understand that Turkey is a nation that has its own interest as well, too. And sad to say, but they could care less about what's happening to Turkey or Iran or Saudi Arabia or Pakistan. If it's in their interest, they will do it. If it's not in their interest, then they probably won't be too heavily involved, right? That's just it's not just Turkey. It's every Saudi Arabia. It's the UAE. It's Pakistan. I mean, we all saw how these countries dealt with China, right? The giant that was persecuting the Uyghur Muslims, right? They were putting them in camps and things like that, and none of these governments really wanted to condemn China for doing that, right? And so you think, why? Well, the number one thing that comes to mind is that there are economic reasons for that, because there are economic repercussions for, essentially calling out China on that. So keep that in mind when talking about this. There are a lot of back channel discussions and negotiations and deals that happens all the time. And so I hope, Mizan, at the end of the day, that ceasefire benefits the victims. And it really isn't just for Turkey or Russia, but it should be beneficial to the people that really and truly need it, which are the innocents, like the young and the old and the women, right? And the sick, they need that, right? So that's what I think about that. Okay, let's see this here. Joint family doesn't exist. Maccabir says joint family doesn't exist anymore. Yes. Everyone is busy on social media. They're busy on, with their own friends. Dinner time is no longer something collective. Having a conversation, right now is just very difficult. I was in the Khalij maybe a little while ago, earlier this year. And I remember we went out to go eat, and everybody at the dinner table, the dinner table was silent. They were all on their phones, like this. Looking around, the waiter, the only time they talked was when the waiter came. Otherwise, went back to like Instagram, Facebooking, whatever else they're doing, TikToking or whatever else happened or they were doing. So it's very strange to me. I mean, I have a policy that when I'm eating, I try to put my phone in my pocket, put it on silent, be away with it, be done with it, and not to look at it. It's very rude, I think, when I'm talking to somebody and like they're glued. Like if you get a message, that's one thing. But if you're glued to your phone, I'm talking to you, I don't know whether you're paying attention to me or if you're actually listening to me. If I'm looking at you like this while you're talking to me and I'm touching away and doing this stuff like this right here, right? How do I know that you're consciously listening to what I'm saying? I don't know. Right? It makes me feel less important. And I think to avoid that, families just don't have those discussions anymore. Like families will say, instead of saying come down for dinner, they will just text somebody and say come down for dinner, right? You're missing that kind of interaction. I think it's very dangerous because people are losing the ability to communicate with people, right? They cannot. They're becoming socially awkward, right? Which is it's pretty bad to me. I don't know what you guys think about it. But to me, it seems like that is something we have to be mindful of. But anyways, what's going on, Malikly Click? We're just talking about my coronavirus headquarters. I'm here, bunkered down, and I'm bored. I'm dying of boredom. I think we're going to be dying of boredom. No electronics at the dinner table. Have a conversation with your family and ask them. Yes. Talk to your kids. Ask your children how they're doing. Ask your wife. Ask your husband, how was your day? What happened? Like things like that, Absolutely. Let me see. Ooh, what do you think of the primaries, Bernie or Biden? Well, it spoke about this a little earlier, MacBook, and I think it's MacBook Air. No, why do I keep calling you MacBook Air? I don't know why. Your name reminds me of that. It's Mac Abir, right? Okay, I'm gonna call you Abir, so that way I don't call you MacBook for some reason. Look, I like between Biden and Bernie. I prefer Bernie Sanders because his message is more consistent. I don't agree with everything he says, but I think his message is a lot more consistent with what he actually, or compared to what Joe Biden has been saying, right? He hasn't been too wishy-washy. Now, the issue is, does the Democratic establishment, the DNC, do they want Bernie Sanders to be the forerunner? My humble opinion is that they do not. They do not want him to be the forerunner. They want, they want Joe Biden to be out there because he looks like he's moderate and he's has experience dealing with Republicans, dealing with diplomats, foreign diplomats, and he's kind of like how do I put it? The safe bet, right? He's not going to radically want to change too many things. They have experience with him being the vice president. They know he won't radically try to change the economy and like radically raise the taxes, which they're afraid of, right? You know, do you see like he's kind of complying with the norm, right? He's not too radically opposed to Trump. He just may sound more moderate, right? Like he may sound more likable, right? Or more balanced. But in essence, what's really that different about the approach? We don't like foreigners. We want to shut down the borders. We want to, we have a problem with wars in the country. We have no problem taking money from corrupt nations. I mean, time and time again, we see these similar things. We need to raise taxes. We need to, things like that. Like, there's really not much of a difference, in my opinion. I don't think the lives of many American Muslims have changed very much since Trump became Muslim. I know for me, it hasn't changed much. Maybe I got a slight tax break, but I get it. There are some Muslims in smaller areas, that have maybe more Islamophobia. I get that. But for the most part, my personal life hasn't changed. And I know that's anecdotal, but it's just what it is, right? So do I think Biden is going to be a Bernie or Biden? I think Biden will win the foreigner. Oh, did I say Trump became a Muslim? Oh, wow. Oh, maybe that's a slip of the tongue. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, no, I probably meant to say that Trump, I haven't seen, it being too difficult for Muslims as Trump became president, right? So that's what I meant to say, Canadian Muslim, not that Trump became a Muslim. Amir Sahih sounds like cotton candy that tastes the same. Yeah, two sides, different sides of the same coin, right? Oh, you owe taxes this year. Oh, wow. Yeah, I had to pay taxes last year. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I need a file, actually. I think April something is the deadline. So I had to pay a good amount of money last year, even though I was filing like almost no dependencies at all. So, Biden is stupid. Let's be honest here. Biden is not quick on his feet. He says the dumbest things. He says the very creepiest things about leg hair and dipping his feet in swimming pools and how he's a tough guy who beat up bullies in the block. And, it's about just a very, very strange guy. Very strange attitude he has. I don't know how he's gotten elected, Mizan Ahmed. It says today is 1 year anniversary of the Christ Church attack in New Zealand. No progress in tackling right-wing groups anywhere in the world. Well, you are absolutely right. Islamophobia is something, or let me redefine that. Being hateful to Islam is completely normal today. Whereas I'm not saying other groups don't receive hatred, but it's more acceptable to hate Islam and Muslims than it is to hate blacks or Mexicans or whites or gays and homosexuals and, whatever you have. It has become normal for a politician to come up and say, well, we have to stop people from these Muslim countries coming in. Just look throughout Europe, right? You want to blame radical Islam, blame Islam. They found a way to kind of blend or describe the Muslims in the same, with a different term, but it's the same thing. Like, it's kind of like when they say, oh, Wahhabists or Islamists, or, they're really referring to Muslims who want to practice their religion, whether they don't even really know what their ideology is, So it's very, very strange. Uncle Joe The uncle, yeah, he loves to wrestle, right? I mean, we call him Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, whatever you want to call him, right? House of Films says, y'all saw how the newspaper headlines used photos of meshes recently. No, I didn't see that. But I did see a bunch of Iranians licking the shrines, and their tongues were like very, very disturbing to watch. I mean, let me see that. Let me go back to my my feed here. I had something on my Twitter, and it was the most. Maybe you guys can help me figure out what was going on. It was the most disgusting thing. I mean, I don't know what was going on here. It's so horrible. I had no idea. Let me see if I can go back and find that. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, wow. So many different things are going on my Twitter feed. Okay, I remember that part. And yeah, like watch this. This is so strange. Let me make this big and let me switch over here so you guys can watch it. Look at this. Listen to this stuff. This is so strange.
و چیز شده اینجا برو کلان شده آقای منم الان اینجا ببینید لیست میزنم هر چی کلاس ما من بیارم.
Look at this. Look at this thing.
هر چی کلاس ما من بیارم.
Very strange. You hear that groan? Like, what is that? Like, what is he doing? Like, what is this? What is that groan like he's doing? Like he's like licking something. I mean, disgusting. What is this? I don't understand this. Very, 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 very strange. I don't understand. Like, what is going on? Like, weird habits, guys. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. You know, and if Iran was more responsible, I think they could have, they could have curbed this down a lot, but they didn't want to be responsible. They were irresponsible. They were telling people to go. You know why? Because it was tied to their belief that these shrines are a source of shifa, and they're holy, and that nothing can harm you at these shrines. So it would have totally dispelled some of the religious ideas that they have about the sanctity of these shrines, right? So that's kind of what you have. But nonetheless, it's pretty crazy. You know what's also funny? There's another funny guy on Twitter. I love him. He's called Right Wing Watch, and he is hilarious. And he has some very funny videos. Check this out. I want to play you guys one where there's this guy, like this pastor, who's gonna like heal you, like through the TV. This is the guy right here.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus.
Receive your healing.
Yes.
Your healing, baby.
Now.
His fingers are all wet. Look at that. Looks
Say it,
creepy.
I take it.
I take it.
I have it.
I have it.
It's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine.
I thank you and praise you for it.
Yes, Lord.
And I forgive if I have aught against any. And I praise you that I'm well and whole.
I praise you that I'm well.
Yes.
According to the word of God,
According to the word of God.
I'm healed.
Yes.
And I
He's got
consider
private
not
jets.
my own body.
Yes.
Consider not my own body.
I consider not symptoms in my body,
I consider
And
not
no symptoms.
but only that which God has promised.
Oh, wow.
God.
Only that what the Word has said.
only that what the
And
word.
by His stripes I was healed, and by His stripes I am healed now. I'm not the sick trying to get healed. I'm the healed, and the devil's trying to give me the flu or whatever else kind of thing he's trying.
Yeah.
Wow, what a creepy guy. Look at
Healed
this.
and well.
He looks like a devil. Look at him.
Healed and well
Yes.
in the sweet name of
Name of
Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
You could tell he paused, right? He's like, sweet name, and Nick paused. Like, what BS am I gonna say after this? And if he can't say something, hallelujah, hallelujah, praise the Lord, hallelujah. Like, so he's basically calling the Chinese people devils. Is that what he's calling them? He's like, the devils are trying to give them flus. Is that what he's trying to say? I mean, I don't understand. He's funny people, man. But yeah, you have tons of these kinds of videos, man. There are tons of these kinds of videos that are out there that are making fun. There's another guy here. Watch this. Let's go back here. There's another one. I think out of New Zealand or somewhere out there, or South Africa. I don't know, but let's go over here. Hold on. Desktop.
Well, I know they don't want us to do this, but just turn around and greet 2 or 3 people. Tell them you love them. Jesus loves them.
Oh, you love them.
Amen.
Oh, grab the women too. You love them.
Listen, this has to be the safest place.
The safest place. Grab them. Grab them all.
This has to be the safest place. If you cannot be safe in church, you're in serious trouble. We are not stopping anything. I got news for you. This church will never close. The only time the church is closed is when the rapture's taking place.
The rapture.
This Bible school is open because we're raising up revivalists, not pansies.
Oh, pansies.
Well, I know they don't want us to do
you know
this,
what's
but
funny?
Just turn around and greet 2 or 3 people. Tell them
you know what's funny?
Love them, Jesus.
He wants people. Watch it. He wants people to greet people, but this man didn't greet a single person. He didn't put hands on nobody.
Amen.
Look at that. He didn't touch nobody on stage.
Listen, this has
not
to
one
be
person.
The safest place.
Everybody else is greeting, but he's not greeting nobody. I mean, these people are crazy. They're absolutely nuts. I mean, it's just, you can't lie about this stuff at all. Right? You can't lie. So, yeah, there's a whole lot of things going on in the church, I don't want to get into that as well, but, yeah. So, Tujaruddin, exactly. Yeah, they are businessmen, Harith. They like to sell it for a small price. As the Quran mentions. So what else, guys? What are you guys doing in the text? What are you guys doing about Corona? Let me see what Amir Sahi says. He says, I read in books and heard opinions of the Tabarruk, and I was remained neutral, and I still do with the scholar rulings, but I remember seeing the way people are. Look, Tabarruk is something different. I believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give Tabarruk upon the by being close to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, of course. Right, there are certain things that are tabarruk, right? Like touching the Kaaba and Rukn al-Yaman, like these places like this that have barakah in it, right? We understand that, right? The Ar-Rawda, right? There's barakah. We understand this. We understand some of the Sahaba actually went to the Prophet's grave and even complained about hunger. I understand that, but there is a if you are going to adopt that, there is a method of doing that. There is a etiquette of doing that. Not licking some shrine and going I mean, like you're doing something perverted to the gates of the shrine. Very, very strange. I mean, I don't understand that. So I hope people don't confuse it. I'm not bashing tabarruk in itself, but certainly the way that man in that video was seeking tabarruk is definitely not the way that we learn from that. Right? So playing board games with the kids at Netflix. Okay, that's very good. What board games are you playing, by the way? Harith, did you play? My masjid canceled Salat al-Jum'ah by me because they wanted people to not get sick. So they decided to cancel, but yeah. And if somebody did go, it's not blameworthy, I believe. And if someone doesn't go, it's not blameworthy. Allah knows your intention, so no problem at all. If your intention is right with this. So getting into through some Quran khatams and reading Brother Martin Lynch Muhammad's biography. Okay, mashallah, very nice. Yasir Qadi Sira podcast, very cool, very cool. Monopoly is a great game. I love Monopoly. I used to cheat as a kid. Maliki click. One day my cousin used to beat me. I used to beat everybody. My cousin used to beat me. So I went one day to the novelty store and I brought extra Monopoly money and I tucked that under the board. Every time they thought they bankrupt me, I would just pop out new 500s. Like I was making it rain all day. So they finally figured out because I never ran out of money. They would land on me like I would land on them like 100 times, and I keep pulling out money even though no one landed on me. So they found out that damn, he's getting money from somewhere. I said it's tabar, it's what do you call, like يعني it's ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah yarzuqhu man yasha. Don't worry about my money. Okay, we're good. Yeah, they found out. So please do those refutations, your video knowledge. You're very knowledgeable. Oh, jazakumullah khair, ya Mac. I'm not knowledgeable. I've just been, you know what it is, Mac Kabir. We've been around these arguments for a long time, and a lot of people making these arguments. These are not new arguments. Just remember that none of these arguments you'll see that Farid or Amin or any of those brothers are refuting are new arguments. These are old arguments that people have been making from before, and they've been refuted a million times in Arabic and in other languages. But unfortunately now they're moving them into the English language, and so therefore it's becoming problematic. But inshallah, I do plan to do that. I do plan to make more videos that will be refuting them. Actually, I had one of the haters come in today. He was like, oh yeah, Abdullah Gondo, Abdullah Samir, they beat you. Okay, then let them come on the show. Let them come and debate me. No problem. I have no problem debating them. A person who reads the word wadi as wa'adi, he's going to tell me that he's going to debate me about the Arabic language or about what the Quran means. Yeah, he can't even read the Quran. Why is he trying to read Arabic poetry as if he understands it? I don't understand that. I mean, here's the thing. I told them that for someone like you who doesn't understand the Arabic language and who doesn't know the deepness of the Quran, anyone sounding, like it sounds like Quran, you would think, oh my God, it's like Quran, because you don't know. You don't understand. I could play Syrian chants right now, and many of you would think it's maybe it's a nasheed or it's some verse of the Quran or some dhikr. You wouldn't know the difference. Maybe some of you might hear the word like Masih or Aba or something like that. That would maybe give you a pointer, but in general, it sounds very nice. It's very enjoyable to listen to. It's pleasant to the ears, right? And so you wouldn't know. And this is what they're doing. They're appealing to people like that, right? They're saying, oh, look, I said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now look, it must be something nice, right? They're playing on the emotions, unfortunately, of people that do not know the language and are just very average Muslims who pray Quran and love listening to the Quran. They're trying to deceive those individuals, which is very shameful. So Abdullah Samir, Abdullah Gondol, if you guys are listening, shame on you. Shame on you. Because real men don't lie to make their beliefs look solid, okay? If your belief is solid, you don't lie about other people's beliefs. Be a man and don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. Okay? You can't teach people how to be men if you can't be a man yourself. So remember that if you're paying attention. Anyways, that being said, unfortunately, one of the messages in my area decided to have 6 Jummahs. Oh, wow. 6 of them maybe because they wanted to split the congregation, so it's not all at one time, maybe. Hadith, maybe that was the logic behind it, to limit the massive gatherings for less than 500 people at a time. That could have been the the wisdom or the idea behind it. Well, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect your community and keep them safe, and to anyone who's infected to recover fully and speedily, inshallah. Allahumma ameen. Thank you, Faiz Arshad. Thank you very much for your comments and for that. I appreciate that. But let me see. Yeah, shame on them 1,000 times. Absolutely, shame on them. I don't seem to have the energy to get through films. I might buy the PS4. Oh, so I've been playing Call of Duty. So I play Call of Duty with some of the old folks, some of the old people. You know, I'm what we call a shy. See? My gray beards, my gray beard hairs. So we old people play these old games like Call of Duty. So we've been playing the new release Plunder and Battle Royale. I'm not that good at it. I prefer the regular one, but usually at nighttime. So if you guys want to play, let me know. Maybe we'll do that, to kill some time. Because I'm officially on work from home. Our company, we had a leadership meeting, and everybody is going to be working from home starting Monday. So I will have time to make videos. I may even go live randomly. So make sure you hit the bell, guys. I have to throw that in there. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Make sure you hit the bell, so if you'll be aware of every time I make new content if I just go live randomly, because I don't keep a schedule, guys. Some people here who have known me for a long time, like Maliki Click, you know that I'm completely random. I don't really plan things out very well, but I just do things at the drop of a dime. So you always gotta be ready around me. Keep your guard up. Yes, most of these people are Ajami. Unfortunately, many of us fall. Yes, exactly. And I think this is also a good opportunity for Muslims to understand how critical it is to learn the Arabic language for the sake that they can understand their religion. Because it's not so much that, to refute the haters. No, it's for you to understand your religion. It's for you to understand better. This is for you. Develop that connection with the Quran. Develop that connection with your Creator. When you recite certain surah, even if, I'm not a scholar, but this is my opinion. I would rather somebody understand Surah Al-Fatiha, Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad, and Surah Al-Nas, and the full meaning of everything with tafsir, than to recite the whole Quran in Salah without them knowing a single word of what they're saying. I would rather them just recite these two surahs over and over again until they learn new surahs, because they have full consciousness of what they're saying. To me, this is more beneficial. If you understand what you are reciting in the surah from the Quran, in Salah from the Quran, how can you not have a more meaningful Salah? Of course you would have a more meaningful Salah than rather just repeating. And this is part of the problem, right? You see a lot of people, and they look robotic in their salah, right? They're just going through the motions, right? They're looking around. The Imam will say Allahu Akbar and just, looking around, looking at his nails. There's no connection with the salah. And if you want to develop that connection, you don't have to be a native Arabic speaker, but you should at least understand what you're reciting, right? Whatever it is that you want to recite, even if it's Surah Idha Ja, even this small surah, Surah Al-Asr, if you want to recite these things, just understand the meaning. That you'll see such a benefit in your salah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I think what we mean is that not random occurrence, mean that we act on random behavior. Wa alaikum assalam, Leslie Parker, welcome back. So it's not, there is no coincidence. We believe that by everything is qadr Allah. And bima sha, so we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that controls everything and makes sure that nothing happens by random occurrence. I definitely agree with that. But anyways, so is the stream health? Hold on, let me just check this real quick. Let me just make sure that we are good with the stream health. Okay, we're good. Okay, good. Just want to make sure we're okay. Welcome, Lily Johnson. Welcome. Okay, yeah. So yeah, what are you guys doing for the Corona outbreak, man? Tell me what you guys are up to. Are you guys gonna stay home from school? Have you guys been, besides playing board games, anything else? Let me see. Wait, would you ever leave the U.S. for another Western country, or would it be only to? Well, you know what? Good question. I wouldn't mind Canada. Toronto's not bad, but I would prefer America. I don't think I'd live anywhere else. I can't live in Europe. I've lived in Europe, by the way. Not, I wouldn't say as a resident, but I lived there for about 6 months. And granted, it was Eastern Europe. I don't think I'd ever go live there again. Canada, I've lived in for a period of like 3 months. I can get used to it. It's not bad. But other than that, no. I mean, I like America. I really do. I mean, I know people have a gripe. Foreigners have a gripe with America, but for us, I mean, in America, if you're in a Muslim community, I don't mind. I've lived in the Middle East. I've lived in Egypt. I've lived in Saudi Arabia. I've lived in Dubai. I've traveled a lot. I like to be in America for right now. I think it's a good place for us. 24-hour gyms are still packed in the UK. Well, if you're gonna go, make sure you got hand disinfectant and wipe downs and all that stuff. You could live in Toronto. Yes, Toronto's a good city for Muslims, I think. Tons of halal food, good access to the masajids. There are schools for the children. They're pretty tolerant of people for the most part. You know. Oh, you know what? Let me play something, guys. I saw this video. This sister from, since we're talking about Toronto, saw this video, and this sister, man, my God, she had to endure something in Toronto that I've never heard of before. But I wanted to punch the man in the face, to be honest. Let me see if I can pull up the video. Yeah, I mean, by the way, my Twitter feed is full of people like saying, you know what, because Abdullah is crazy. Yeah, he's lost it. Okay, let me switch here. Okay, here you go. Listen to this madman, guys. Listen to this madman. Is my streaming paused? I don't know. Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. But check this out.
I'm actually glad you're doing this. You're helping the European people wake up. You're making them aware of who they are, because knowing who you are is knowing who you're not.
And what aren't you?
I'm not a person that practices backwards ideologies and norms and customs.
Why do all these men who attack women sound this way? I don't care where you are. What are you? Always whining all the time. You know, why? I don't understand. Like, why? You know, I don't know.
I don't believe men are worth half the value of a male.
Did you have a bad day today? Is that why you're ranting?
I'm part of an experimental society. No one asked me if I want to be a fucking experiment in my own country.
Let me experiment. Stop making me an experiment. Stop it. Stop it, everybody. What a cuck.
You wouldn't know, though. You came from a monolithic homogenous society. Now that you're in our society, you should adopt our norms and customs, or you should leave. You enter a country where you can practice your own norms and customs. I would never go to your country and say, oh, you should be more Canadian, or you should eat this food.
What an idiot. This idiot, I mean, Anglo people came into other people's countries and did exactly that. What an idiot. Stupid Ghabi. I mean, what an idiot.
Speak this language. That would be racist. Yet you come here and
what does it mean to be Canadian? What does it mean to be Canadian?
You speak English, respect gender equality, believe in parliamentary democracy, you like hockey, basketball, baseball.
Speak English, respect gender equality, like basketball and hockey. That's Canadian. That's all. What about maple syrup, you a-hole?
You like reading?
How are we having this conversation?
You like reading? He totally forgot maple syrup. What an idiot. He's not even a real Canadian. And gender equality, I mean, what is he talking about? He must be a borderline homo.
If I don't speak English.
You live here, you should fucking know. Why are you asking
I'm
me?
speaking English right now, though.
It's amazing. You're one of the 58% that actually do speak the language.
Yeah.
You're one of the 58% that speak English. How the hell does this nerd even know that? How does he know that stat? Like, what an idiot. You know, if that was me, I would have punched him in the face. 58% of people like you get punched in the goddamn face, you freaking loser.
Yeah.
You kind of have to speak it because all our signs are in English. We haven't completely thrown our culture in the trash. We're just in the process of it. And no one asked me if I want that to happen.
You're so proud of being a
Why would they ask him? Why would they ask this freaking loser? You know why I don't want to ask you anything, you goddamn loser? Because you're a beta male. That's why. You whine and you complain and you bitch about things. That's why no one's going to ask you anything. Nobody respects you. That's what I would have told them. You're a goddamn beta. Nobody respects you. You get crapped on wherever you go. A woman is shitting on you right now in the subway. You have no shame. I mean, what a low-T individual.
Colonizer.
I'm proud to be it. I was born into it. Just like you were born into oppressive totalitarian society.
I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. I'm just born into it. I mean, imagine, like, what is this nonsense?
You couldn't help it. You're a product of it.
I was born in Canada.
It's amazing. It's fucking amazing you were born in this country.
It's great that you assumed I'm from somewhere else.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great to assume.
It's amazing you were born in Canada. It's amazing. What's amazing for you? Because obviously he hasn't been around a woman, so maybe that's why it's amazing, right? Because he doesn't know how people can procreate. Is my stream frozen? I didn't know that. Let me see if this works. How about this? Is my stream better now? It should be. I don't know why. I think YouTube has been giving issues lately. So I don't know what's going on. Well, it seems to me the stream is good. I don't know on my end. But anyways, maybe you guys might need to reload the stream because I'm checking out my my stream and it says that the connection, the stream health is good, and it's saying that that it is connected, and I just saw that. So I don't know. Maybe it could be that. I don't know. All right, good, Leslie. Thank you very much. Yeah, but I mean, just saying, we're seeing things like this where, people are just, like lashing out like that. And I've never seen that happen really in Canada, to be honest. I really haven't seen it. That's a very rare occurrence for people who are in Canada. But again, these are people like this. Please, akhi, give a shout out for my friends in the masjid. Okay, your friends have a shout out. حياك الله حياكم الله جميعا أهلا وسهلا يا جماعة الخير. Welcome to the stream. You got flicked off in Canada. Okay, wow. I never heard that. My parents tell me that there is more freedom to be Muslim in America. I agree with that. I've lived in the Middle East. I've lived in places, and I think if you are a practicing Muslim and you are opinionated, you can have a very difficult time living in the Middle East. We have a saying in the Middle East that the walls have ears, and everyone's listening to you. The mukhabarat, right? So you have to be careful. In America, you have a lot more freedom of speech in that way. So, welcome, Noor. Welcome to the stream. When you have enough subscribers, go. Oh, I would love to. Abu Kulli Kufa. I mean, if they allow me to get on Joe Rogan, I would decimate him. I would love to challenge his idiocy about it. I generally like Joe Rogan. I mean, I think he's right on some things, but when it comes to Islam, he brings the wrong people, and he's completely mistaken about it. Why would you bring on someone like, Ben Shapiro to talk about Islam, or other people like Ali Rizvi? I mean, just people that have no idea about Islam. Why would you bring them on? Wouldn't you bring in like a person who's knowledgeable, a sheikh or a prominent figure, someone to talk about it? That's like bringing in a Hindu pundit to talk about Judaism. They would be offended. Yeah, exactly. That's why I like, Ben Cernovich. My boy Nabil Aziz does some episodes with him. And Ben Cernovich, Mike Cernovich will actually, compliment Muslims when they deserve it, And he doesn't, he allowed, Nabil to get on there for hours and, talk to anyone who wanted to talk about Islam. And that was great. And I can appreciate that. That's true freedom of expression and unbiased format. So I appreciate that. Yeah. But, partly I'm not going to blame them. I think it's also his fault. He's intentionally bringing them on. Like, he has a bias towards it. He knows he's not a dumb guy. He knows what he's doing. He's not a stupid person by any means. Right? So, but Right now, we're just not important enough to him. One thing, though, is, I mean, he has brought Firas Zahabi, which I respect him very much. Firas is awesome. But they talked more about philosophy. But one thing Firas did do is he dropped some important gems about Islamic philosophers and how there were levels above the Western philosophers many, many, many years ago. And that was awesome for him, to see him do that. Alhamdulillah, he did that. He's a great guy. I really respect Firas Zahabi. Unfortunately, Lee lost yesterday in his fight. It was one of his fighters. He was put into a guillotine, and unfortunately, he lost that fight. For those of you that watch MMA. But speaking of fighting, UFC is still on. Habib versus Tony Ferguson. It's going to happen, but it's going to be at the UFC complex, I think, in Nevada, and that will be just a live event. Like, it won't be an actual stadium. So so let's see what happens. So hopefully Habib comes out with a victory, inshallah, with that one. Agree with you more. Don't think he's ever brought on a Muslim scholar. Yeah, exactly, Floating Man. And he should, if he's honest. So Joe Rogan, if you're listening somehow, or if some of you have a contact with Joe Rogan, tell him, I said, be honest. Be a man of your word and bring people on who are honest about it. Don't cower away from the truth. Doesn't Sheikh Hamza Yusuf live? Maybe he does. I don't know. It's about being invited, right? Having the networking. I don't know if they network within the same circles, right? Reza Aslan, but Reza Aslan himself is a confused person, right? So I wouldn't want Reza Aslan representing me in front of Joe Rogan, right? I think he himself is a confused person. So Zeroid E says the problem now is that those who are labeled Muslims have differences in opinions and it is their discourses, so there will be a problem in reliability. Absolutely. There needs to be someone that is a face of Muslims who is unapologetically a Muslim, who's not trying to convince someone by sweet talk, right? Just if there's something they don't like, we come out and say it. We give our position, whether they don't like it or not. It's not our problem. We're not here to convince people to be Muslims, right? Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one that guides people to Islam. All we do is convey the message. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So, how many of you want to bet that the first type of, quote, sheikh person to be on Joe Rogan will be like a Saudi guy? I bet you he'll be the first person to be on that show. I bet you. Let's see what happens. Anyways, Hussein Kamani's not bad. He's a good guy. I think someone like Jonathan Brown would be great too. Jonathan Brown would be a great guest. Joe Bradford would be a great guest to be on that show. I think these would be really good people to bring on. Relatable and would be great. Omar Suleiman would be a good candidate as well to go on, but we'll see what happens. We'll see, inshallah. We're to be Tawheedi is another joke. It's another joke. Majid Nawaz, maybe. That's a good point. Maybe it might be Majid Nawaz. It could be, yeah. From the Quilliam Foundation. But yeah. Or maybe, you know what? Even someone, or maybe one of the fighters who's grounded, maybe. Bring a different perspective. Like my boy Billy Bilal, the Bulldog, Billy, he's fighting out of Chicago. A Palestinian brother. It's Bilal. Stuff like this. But yeah. Anyways, Tawheedi is a joke. Unfortunately, I saw the series that my boy Daniel Hakikachu did with Tawheedi. And unfortunately, I don't feel like Daniel lived up to his ability, his potential. Tawheedi totally stepped him because he was arguing from a position of being a non-Muslim, which is stupid, right? It was funny because even Arman Navabi, the guy who was hosting the debate, in the middle of a debate turns around and looks at Tawheed and goes, "Well, why are you even a Muslim?" And it was funny. It was hilarious. You know, even subhanallah, even the atheist realizes that Tawheed is not a Muslim. You know, I mean, so simple, right? So it's interesting. But anyways, so did any of you guys catch that stream with that we did today on the TMM that was live between Omar Lee and Robert Darfour, I think his name. I forgot how to say his last name. My apologies, Rob. But I'm wondering if anybody else caught that as well. I'm wondering. No. Yeah, Armin. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point, Mizan. Like, you know, he's an idiot. I mean, stupid. You know, by the way, I have to say one thing. I respect you brothers out in the UK for one thing. And I will be honest here. Speaker's Corner, man. Like, the stuff that you guys have to hear there and not react to, props for being composed. Some of the stuff that I hear over there, I would punch somebody right in the throat. I'd knock their teeth out. You know, I mean, the fact that you guys can actually, you know, be able to dialogue and be able to not react, you know, and can have strength to be composed and sabr. I mean, the sabr of Sayyidina Yunus, mashallah alaykum. You know, you guys are like strong, you know. Yeah, whoever it is, I don't know who they all are, but there's a good team over there. I mean, a lot of people, so many brothers out there that are in the streets and out there. But you know, there's one guy. Hold on, let me find him. I love this guy. He's not. Don't forget, he's not a Dawa guy. Okay, I just caught him because I follow this guy. You know, he's content over everything, and he was with this one guy, and it was funny, man. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is the guy. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I.
Another Arab gay.
I'm a Muslim like you.
Wallahi al-Azim, you are gay.
Don't say this to me.
Wallahi, you are gay. Wallahi, you are gay. Like,
I've never known anyone talk about gay more than you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen such an effeminate Muslim.
Muslim like you.
That guy is, for whoever that is, Uncle Omar, I think his name is Uncle Omar or Da'i Omar. That guy is funny. Like, Wallahi, you are gay. Wallahi, you are gay. Thumma Wallahi, you are gay. Like, Adnan Rashid, mashallah, Mansoor, mashallah, Hashim, mashallah, Ali Dawa, Muhammad Hijab, mashallah, tabarakallah, very good. What about the other brother? Dawa is easy. Dawa is easy. He's also a nice brother too, mashallah. I see him do some things in the streets. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, I think I've been live for a while now. Do any of you guys have anything to add about Corona? Anything that they're doing? Anything special we need to talk about before we wrap this one up? I will probably be doing more and more streams during this time period because I'm going to be stuck at home because we're work from home now and I have time and my family's out in Canada right now to be with. Anyway, long story short, but so I have time, nothing but boredom. If you guys are bored and you guys want to continue interacting, I think there's a Discord server. You guys, I don't have the link in hand or whatever, but you can either join the TMM one or the other one. I think it's called Muslim Twitter or something. A lot of people come on there and talk about various things. So feel free to join in. Absolutely, absolutely. I think it was Zero to saying, shouldn't panic, go overboard, prepare the best that you can do, and put tawakkul ala Allah, and make sure you do everything you can do. Stay clean, hygienic, you know. Mizan, right now I'm not reading anything, to be honest. Right now I have nothing on my reading board. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Put them in the comment or get at me on Twitter or Curious Cat. You can get at me there. But most importantly, awalan, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button. Don't leave the stream without hitting the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. I'll find you people. I'll find you guys. Okay? But anyways, make sure you guys do that. Yes, make dua, make your adhkar, make all that stuff. All right? Be busy in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you remember Allah when in the times of ease, Allah will remember you when in times of difficulty. Right? And you know, the ayah in the Quran says when you are afflicted with musibah, right? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Don't be overburdening of yourself. Don't be, you know, essentially, you know, too paranoid about things. Nothing will happen to you unless it is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing is a coincidence, and nothing can take over the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So be, you know, keep up with your regular habits, but also, you know, make sure you do what you can do, right? And then inshallah everyone will be fine. Keep your families safe, keep yourselves safe, and exercise good judgment. All right, but most importantly, do not buy into fear, propaganda, and tactics. Right? Do not buy into mass hysteria. If you do, I believe that hysteria and that mass hysteria will kill more people than corona. Okay. By the way, there's tons of funny material from the Arab world about corona. Every single Arab country has a corona song, from Egypt all the way to, I mean, from Morocco all the way to like to Qatar. You've got the corona song in every part of the world. Okay, so this is how the Arabs are dealing with corona. We're gonna sing it away. Okay. Allahumma ameen mizan. Okay, all right, everybody. It was a pleasure. Make sure you guys tune in next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter at MortTMM. Go to the Mad Mamluks channel. You know, the Mad Mamluks. Make sure you smash the like button over there and the subscribe button. We just dropped an episode today with a debate between Omar Lee and Robert. We just did an episode before with Hassan Shamrani from the Sunni Defense, who really talk a lot about Ahl Sunnah in Iran and the history of them. So check that out as well too. I did some refutation videos to that idiot Abdullah Samir and Abdullah Gondol. There's two clowns, Dumb and Dumber. Make sure you check that out too as well. See if you enjoy it. I'm going to be doing more of those kinds of videos. But with that being said, we are out. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi barakatuh.
MuzzyBuzz.